Welcome back, and here we are with our first guest via Skype. We have joined with us Marc Petz. Did I pronounce it correctly, Marc? Good. Did I pronounce your name correctly, Marc Petz?
Yep, Marc Petz is correct.
Okay, great.
And Marc, we're sort of flying blind today. Our monitors aren't working. So is Mary with you?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, Mary Musto is also joining you. Welcome to the show, Mary.
We're very excited to have both of you, and we understand that you work at Kent Intermediate School District. Where is Kent Intermediate School District?
That's in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Wonderful, wonderful. And so you guys have a pretty exciting project that you've been working on, this Autism XR. Explain to us a little bit about what that is.
Well, the Autism XR is a web-based augmented reality application that allows the users to interact with 3D interactive content that they place into their environment using a mobile device.
Okay, and maybe we should show, we have a little video that we can show.
Okay.
We're going to show it to you without the music because we didn't have time to get clearance. Marc has the clearance, but we don't have the clearance for the music. Let's show you a little video that'll give you guys a little insight into exactly what we're talking about. Take a look. Traven, are our mics hot? Okay, welcome back.
Great.
So really amazing, and of course poor Nancy is blind. Nancy didn't get to see the video,
right.
But what I love about this is that it is a really exciting way for teenagers to learn about social skills.
Social skills.
They're given choices and they're given feedback, and there's a coach there who's telling them, okay, this person is saying this, what do we do? So first of all, how did you guys come up with the content for your scripts? Talk a little bit about how you guys did that.
Okay, we chose the content for the scripts. We used social learning theory, and we also used the principles of behavior. And I actually used research from a list of IEP goals for students with autism by Wojcinski, and it covers the domains of communication with the subdomains also, requesting, how to have conversations, social interactions, pragmatics, perspective taking. So what we did is that in each script, I started out with a learning unit, which is really a 3-term contingency. We give instructions and the rationale why you should behave in a certain way. We allow the person who's interacting with the module to practice it, and then we give the feedback to them. And if they do it incorrectly, they can go back into the loop and practice again. So what I think is really unique in the content is that we're also using peer-mediated instruction and intervention. So the person who is working with the individual is a peer in the script. So we have a student with autism who is learning a specific behavior, and then we have the peer who is instructing them. So we're using peers as behavior change agents to help the student with autism on a particular behavior.
And it's just fascinating.
What is the target audience for this?
I lost what you said there.
What is the target audience for the app? How?
Yeah, the target audience really is all ages. We've built scenarios for elementary age kids all the way up to high school age kids, and then of course as we continue to develop this application, we'd like to expand outside of the education environment.
Wonderful. And so you guys aren't just doing this in a vacuum. You've been doing research, and I assume it's ongoing. Talk to us about what research you've been doing and what you've found out thus far.
Well, we did some preliminary research because as we've been, speaking about this really exciting product, everyone's asking, well, have you field tested it? So we did a research study here at the, with the approval of our school superintendent, and we did a multiple baseline design across participants. So we actually used this device to teach one of the social skills that we think is a real pivotal behavior for at school and in the workplace. And that is just initiating a greeting with an instructor. And we're hoping that, for instance, that would open them up to more opportunities to use verbal behavior. So our preliminary results, we did have some issues because we're an applied study. Mark's working full-time, I have a full-time job. But regardless of that, we did a lot of follow-up and probe. And I thought our results, certainly we need to do the study again or partner with somebody, but our results were quite, I thought, exciting. We found that for one part we sent to the SIGGRAPH, Mark's going to be attending that conference, that one student particularly on a scale of 5, that's the most that that student could get for initiating a greeting, which means looking at the teacher, making a vocal greeting, because all our participants do have vocal verbal behavior, and then we gave them an additional point if they smiled or nodded. So one participant, which was exciting, I ran the training sessions. I showed them how to use the device, and then they would they would walk down the hallway to their classroom, and then we had the instructors there taking the data. And the one young one of our participants, who's 17 years old, it was quite remarkable. He used the training scenario once, and he did really well. He got full points on the dependent variable of greeting. And then the next day, he never showed up at the training. And so I'm hunting him down like you were supposed to come to the training room. And he said, I get it. I don't have to watch it anymore. So we thought that was pretty exciting. And then he said, I want to see some of your other scripts. So we thought that was pretty exciting.
I think that is exciting because this is, my son has been saying this forever. He's like, VR is the way to teach older kids because in and of itself, it's gratifying. Like they'd be happy to do it because it's VR and it's cool and there's something about it that makes it, I didn't think that I would like VR, but I do. You put on the whatever and if you feel like you're there. So let's get to the whatever, because a lot of the issue that's been with VR has been that you have to have this system and you got to have all this equipment and you got to have a computer that can handle all of it. So explain to me what web-based augmented reality is. What is that and how are you doing that?
Yeah, so web-based augmented reality is a new platform that is not quite publicly ready for everybody to use yet. It's under development with Google and other other tech companies. But really, essentially, what it is, it's a equipmentless way of accessing VR and AR. And in our case, we're utilizing the AR portion of the web-based technology. It's under what's called Web XR, and that's where the Autism XR name comes from. And so for the AR portion of it, it's simply you just go on your mobile device, you navigate to a website, and it starts working. You don't have to have any goggles, you don't have to have any other equipment to make this work. It's just simply your mobile device and a web browser, and then you start to use the augmented reality content, which just means that instead of separating the user from their reality, we're bringing the technology to their reality, which is really what we feel a better way of bringing the students to this instruction.
So to bring it home for those of us that are not as savvy as our kids are, with virtual reality, they're putting on that big thing and they can't see anything that's really in our world. They're in a world of their own. What you're talking about is adding things into their existing world. Is that it?
That is correct. So
Okay.
when they're looking through their mobile device, through the camera, they are placing these characters or objects into their environment. You know, their environment is what the camera is seeing. So they're not seeing these things physically in their environment. It's just through the camera or the mobile device, the camera on the mobile device. But what this does is it keeps them grounded in their reality. They're not disconnecting by putting some goggles on and then seeing a virtual world.
And I gotta say, there's something really, I don't even know what the word is, but it's fabulous because in our world, as we're moving around in our world, there's all these hidden things that we don't realize. And a lot of times it's the social communication piece, right? That I'm not able to say to my son, well, didn't you notice? I mean, I can say, but in my world, I notice when somebody is unhappy, right? And it's as if it's there in my world, but it isn't sometimes in our kids' world. And this is a way of actually making it visible to them, those hidden things that are there for a lot of the rest of us. I think it's really smart.
How can this assist classroom teachers? How can that be utilized? How can it be utilized?
We're losing your audio.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
okay. I said, how can this assist teachers in the classroom?
Still not catching your audio.
So can you hear mine okay? It might just
Oh yeah, you're coming through just fine. Yeah.
Okay, so it must be Nancy's mic. We'll get on that during a break. But she's wanting to know, how can this be used, how can classroom teachers utilize this to help them?
Well, I've been working in some urban classrooms, and what I've noticed is that, teachers are being given more to do with less resources. So, and with IDEA, the 2004, the mandate of having students with disabilities to the greatest extent possible in the least restrictive environment, Mark and I just so believe that is where students with autism should be to the greatest extent possible with their peers. So our vision is, if we could get this created, is to make this available for classroom teachers so that they, for instance, I have created the scenarios. I'm cross-referencing the list, like for instance, the one that we did on greeting. It also talks about when to have a conversation. It's not time to share your interests with the teacher when you're walking into the classroom. So we're covering so many of the IEP goals. So it would be just wonderful if we gave this tool to the general education teacher, or even free to parents, free to everyone, that if a student is having difficulties, for instance, on if someone is stealing, what to do in that situation, that teacher could give it to the student could interact with it, and really it's giving them behavior skills training right wherever that student is at, whatever setting. It could be in the classroom, it could be at home, it could be on the playground, it could be at a sport activity. So that's really how we envision helping the general education teacher, because what we're finding is that the students are in the classroom, they're sitting along the general ed students learning, but we don't see that they have as many opportunities to interact. So our hope is to help that student learn the behavior skills training that they normally might learn if they're pulled out and working with maybe a teacher with ASD qualifications.
I love it. I just love it.
And you're working on developing this application to provide it to the public for free, is that correct?
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. And it's actually available on the web currently. It's just because it's still a technology under development, it's not exactly the easiest process to get it to work. And it's restricted to certain mobile devices as of right now. But it is live on the web, and anybody with who meets the qualifications technology-wise can use it.
How can we get there?
So you can go to marcpetz.com, and you can then you have to go through a process of downloading a couple applications on the phone in order for your phone to be able to utilize the web-based technology. But it starts at marcpetz.com, and then if you have a supported device, you have to go through a number of steps. And I at this point, I guess the best thing to do, or for me to do, would just for anybody to contact me, and then I can provide them step-by-step instructions. And I'm working on getting those instructions up on the web so that anybody who goes to the site can can do it on their own.
And Marc Petz is spelled M-A-R-C-P-E-T-Z.
Yep, that's correct.
M-A-R-C-P-E-T-Z.
Thank you for
Yep.
that. And now you're coming to LA next month, well, 2 months, July, end of July, beginning of August for the SIGGRAPH conference. I don't even know what that is. Do you, Nancy?
No, I don't. Tell
What's
us
a
what the
SIGGRAPH?
SIGGRAPH conference is.
Yeah, the SIGGRAPH conference is really one of the biggest conferences in the world dealing with computer-generated imagery, just computer graphics, and then education technology, how all that blends together, along with research and just innovation. And so we submitted this project to SIGGRAPH, not really expecting to get selected, but then to our surprise, we got selected, and now we're going to be heading out there to share this awesome web-based AR technology.
I'm excited for you.
Congratulations.
And you have a new Patreon site for people who would like to participate and donate. And I think that you sent that to Traven, and he's going to put it up on the screen for you. But important at this point that you get some additional funds, correct?
Yeah, we're at a point now where we are searching for funding in order to develop this even further. We're working on certain technologies within this application that is going to require some developers to spend some more time on developing, and of course, working with this new technology that isn't quite exactly laid out and easy to do yet. So, getting funding to get this supported is going to be critical to making this, the best that it can be.
Okay.
It's very exciting.
Yeah,
Again,
very
we want to
exciting.
tell people, go to Marc Petz, that's Marc with a C and Petz with a Z, .com to get more information. But we're going to have you back when you guys get closer to being where you want to be. But really
Sure.
remarkable, and thank you both so much for the work that you're doing and for being with us. We're going to go to break, but I'm going to ask the two of you to stay on the phone for just a second because I have a question for you off air,
Okay.
and I'll tell everybody what it is later.
Thank you.
But stick with us. We're going to be back in just a few minutes, and we're going to be joined by fabulous guest Derek Vogt, an amazing dad. So stick with us. Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.